Hi everyone, my name is Lisa. This is Mai, Mairead and Fung, and we're going to talk to you today about why we've chosen the ARJC referral process to target. So in particular, we've chosen the low referral rates, which have been identified over the last few days as anecdotally declining. We've identified a key referral group based on what we've heard that's not being leveraged to the full extent in the existing administrative processes. This group is lawyers. Why have we chosen lawyers? They have the greatest incentive to refer their clients due to the positive benefits and outcomes that can be associated with their offending. They have more knowledge of the offender and their offence, and the importance of their role throughout the entire duration of the process. There is a clear knowledge gap that's associated with this current target referral group.
So over the last 2 days, we have heard that information gaps is the biggest challenge to referrals. We've also heard that there are other challenges that currently in place for referrals, such as negative attitude toward ARJC, as well as administrative burden. However, we have identified that information gap is the largest challenge, and therefore our solution aims to address this gap. So how can information gap lead to bias in thinking? Information gap, we've heard that some lawyers do not know about ARJC. Some, even when they are aware of ARJC, they may not know the eligibility criteria for ARJC, as well as the benefits of the conferencing, as well as what they need to do to make the referral. So, in place of asymmetric information and not sufficient information, lawyers are more susceptible to a bias that we call a zero-risk bias. So zero-risk bias is a tendency to prefer outcomes that are in a complete elimination of risks, even when when the strategy is more risky. So in this context, ARJC outcome are unknown to lawyers. They don't know what would make their referral successful, and therefore they are more inclined to choose the strategy that they already know, and they know the outcome, that is the traditional judicial system. And their choice is further enhanced by another bias that we call choice supportive bias. That is, when they make a choice of not referring their client, they may feel good about the decision, they may feel that they have done the right thing, and therefore they continue to not referring their client in the future. So, how do we break this cycle? We would like to break this cycle by addressing the information gap. This is how we frame our thinking on how to break down the information gap. We've identified two behavioral heuristics that we would like to utilize in our intervention. The first one is availability heuristic. Availability heuristic is about people making judgment about the likelihood of an event based on how easy it is for them to recall an event. So in this situation, if a lawyer feel easy for them to recall a positive outcome associated with an ARJC, they are more likely to make a referral. And as a result, our intervention would be increase the awareness of the ARJC and make it easier for them to remember the benefits outcome of ARJC. We also would like to utilize the representative heuristic of representativeness heuristic. That is when people judge the probability that an event is more likely to happen based on its similarity to a class. So in this situation, if lawyers associate certain offenders' profile to being eligible to be referred, they are more likely to refer that type of offenders with that certain profile. So we create a profile of offenders that are most likely to be referred successful in referral.
So how are we doing this in practice? So we first want to acknowledge that we do realise that there's some current resource constraints within ARJC in terms of themselves getting out there and providing information on this diversionary program. So what we want to do is introduce instruments that are cost effective but increase maximum exposure for this targeted referral group. So firstly, we've got an information poster that we're going to display in courthouses. So we broke down the movement of lawyers, where they are most engaged with this process and with their clients. And what we came up with is courtroom, interview rooms. So we know that in Brisbane there is a dedicated duty lawyer interview room, and also other interview rooms which are available to private and other defence solicitors as well. So it's about getting that information out there in a catchy way and start to get that embedded within their associative memory. So in the terms of our second instrument, we are going to put out informative articles and communications. We want to start to reach the most and provide a little bit more information than just on the poster. So we want to target solicitors through the Queensland Law Society monthly publication of Proctor. And we also want to target barristers through the Bar Association email communication channels. So it's important to get that information out. It's a little bit more in longhand in this article, but they have more time to read it and get that information and start a conversation about it.
So drawing just a little bit on the availability heuristic and the representativeness heuristic in this specific poster, we're calling out easily targeted information that's directly talking to a lawyer. Is my client eligible? How do I refer them? Short, punchy sentences, associating those positive availability heuristic and representativeness statistics, which are coming out at the bottom there in the right-hand corner. So satisfaction and compliance, which are incredibly and unusually high. So really also highlighting what types of offences, so you're really increasing the availability. Oh yeah, that's my client, I can refer them.
So the same design principles apply for the article. We just want to do a little bit more long form information to give them time to read it and process it. We want to leave them with that map to really know where these programs are located. So we're calling on that representative and availability heuristic to show success stories, give pictures of those defendants and the victims, and leave them with positive statistics that taps again into that associative memory of all the lawyers out there.
The design and implementation of this intervention are closely aligned with the EAST framework. The intervention is low cost and easy to implement. The instruments are attractive and it contains personalization such as my client. It aims to create a social norm that would encourage diversionary trusted approaches, and it arrived, most importantly, at a much needed time in the statewide justice system to advocate for diversionary approaches. Evaluation is also well considered throughout the course of the design and also implementation of our intervention. So process evaluation from the left to right, process evaluation can commence from day one of delivery, while outcome evaluation look at the short, medium, and long-term outcomes. We can ask questions such as reach, how many people in the audience am I actually reaching? Or question about effectiveness, has there been a change in referral rates? Leveraging existing data sources.
So essentially our scalability is based on 3 steps: test, evaluate, adopt and scale, and we start looking at new target audiences in the scalability.